Press the bell icon and subscribe to Sportskeeda and never miss anything from the world of sport again.
Hey, I'm Aaron Varble, and this is the SmackDown review for January 9th, 2018. AJ Styles started out the night with a sit-down interview conducted by Renee Young, who was strangely missing from Raw last night, if anybody noticed. AJ Styles said he thought it wasn't fair that he was booked in a handicap match at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship, and he wished he hadn't opened his mouth last week. AJ then called Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn idiots, and then they came out and they started their Yep movement wonderfulness. However, Shane McMahon would soon come out and ruin their fun when he booked a handicap match of his own for later tonight to close out the show. It would be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. Becky Lynch is back, and she's after the Riot Squad because in storyline, that's why she had to leave and had nothing to do with filming the Marine 6. The Last Kicker defeated Ruby Riott and made her tap out to the Disarmer, and that move is just so nice. Next up, you had the Ascension versus the Bludgeon Brothers, and surprise, the Bludgeon Brothers bludgeoned, because that's what they do. It's in the name, bludgeon. They also have a sick double crucifix slam, which is nice, and they destroy people with it, and that's exactly what they did to the Ascension. And after the match, they did another beatdown, because that's what they do. They bludgeon. They're the Bludgeon we've established the Bludgeon that's what they do. It's a clever name, right? Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley battled next in the tournament to decide who would take over the United States Championship after Dolph Ziggler left it in the ring because he lost his smile, I guess. Zack tried his best, but Mojo Rawley is really getting primed for something because all it took were a couple tackles and then a forearm in the corner, and then that was all she wrote for Zack Ryder. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin came out next, and they cut a nice heel promo about getting screwed last week when they almost won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, but then have the ruling overturned because they accidentally pinned the wrong Uso. Daniel Bryan came out, and then they ended up throwing a fit with him a little bit, and Gable said something he probably shouldn't have said, which was, what did we have to do? Beat the Usos twice in one night? And then Daniel thought that was a great idea, so he booked a 2 out of 3 falls match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at the Royal Rumble. That is probably not the end result that Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin were looking for. Next up, you had Rusev Day versus Breezango, just because it's a fun match and everyone likes everyone in that match, but even though Rusev seemed to be on top of things, Breezango ended up winning with the roll-up after Tyler Breeze caught Rusev with a super kick, and then Fandango rolled Aiden English up for the pin. And they acted like it was a really big deal that Breezango won a match, which actually it was kind of a big deal. It was just a big deal that they were competing on SmackDown at all. Finally, you had the main event of the evening, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles, Orton, and Nakamura. And guess what? The bad guys tried to be bad guys, and they tried to pull one over on everyone and just leave and cause a count out. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just took their ball and went home after getting beat up a little bit. But Shane McMahon came out and said that the match was going to be no count outs, so they had to go back. So Kevin Owens later on grabbed a chair and started wailing people with it, and was like, that'll end the match, and it did. Disqualification. Then Shane McMahon came out and said that this match is now a no disqualification, anything goes Birmingham street fight or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Point is, AJ Styles immediately jumped on Kevin Owens with a chair, and the two took their business backstage, where I assume they kept hitting each other with chairs, even though they probably didn't have to because there wasn't a camera on them anymore. They don't have to fight if no one's watching them anymore. It left Sami Zayn in a pretty bad situation with Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura surrounding him. They beat him around the ring a little bit, tossed him over the announce table, then Randy Orton cleaned off the announce table and suplexed him onto it. Then they tossed him back in the ring to finish him off. Shinsuke Nakamura caught a Kinshasa, and then Randy Orton just had to do his finishing move too, so he hit an RKO to get the pinfall, and the babyfaces won at the end of the night. Everybody went home happy. So we've got the Mixed Match Challenge starting next week, and then 2 weeks after that we got the Royal Rumble, so SmackDown's got a couple things they need to fill in before the big pay-per-view, but it looks like things are coming together quite nicely. It's just a matter of how they are going to book things on the road to WrestleMania, and that's always fun. So I'm Aaron Varble, and this has been our review of SmackDown for January 9th, 2018. You guys have a good one. Bye.